Nick and Sarah Meyer of Rocky River, Ohio, are wrestling with the decision faced by couples everywhere. They want to have a bigger family, but aren't sure they can afford it.
Here we go.
Well, we're excited to talk to Liz because we would like to have more kids in the future, and in planning for one, we might get two since twins run on both sides of the family. So we're hoping that we can figure out a way to make it financially feasible since children are very expensive.
It's a big issue, but I think I can help.
One of the points that we're at right now is when can we afford to have another child?
And what were the big expenses that were unexpected for you?
I guess it's not that it was unexpected, but just the reality of how much daycare costs. Daycare it's a house payment.
The idea is not to let finances stop you from having a child unless you're deeply in debt and really can't manage it. There are a lot of different options that you have. Do you have any flexibility with your schedules in terms of when you work, or are you pretty much at work at the same time?
I actually have a good deal of flexibility with my employer. They've been great to me since having Oliver.
Well, that's good to know, because having a little flexibility makes a big difference. Something to remember is that you will only be paying these huge, enormous expenses for the first 5 years, and the burden becomes somewhat less. You mentioned something about college. What are your hopes for Oliver in terms of how much of his college education you want to pay for?
We'd like to support him the best we can, but would also want him to have some sort of a responsibility.
And we want to make sure that we're not shortchanging Oliver if we have another one, or that the other child doesn't get anything. So
let me give you an option to think about that may make this decision easier. You don't need to fund the college educations right now. What you can do instead is set up a 529 college savings plan. Put in a token amount, $25, $50, $100 a month, just to get started. When your child hits school age, then you can amp up the college savings. So sometimes just understanding that you're going to have extra expenses when they're young, and then you'll have that money freed up when they're a little bit older and can put it towards college savings, can give you a little more peace of mind about the situation. Do the best you can, but don't beat yourself up if you can't pay 4 years for Harvard, or 5 years, or 6 years, or however it takes.
4 years.
I know there's a lot of other expenses other than college that we're probably not even thinking of because we haven't gotten to that point yet. What are some other things that we can do to plan for the future and to save money for things that we might not even be expecting or thinking about even?
I would take a look at your global budget, your overall what you're spending. And generally, you want to try to keep your must-have expenses to 50% of your after-tax income. That means you have to cover your mortgage payment, your taxes, your insurance, the life insurance that you'll be buying, food, utilities, transportation, and childcare. Okay? Just my experiences with most families, you're not going to get to 50%. If you get to 60%, that's great. That's what you should shoot for. But you want to look at this again maybe in a couple years. Every 2 to 3 years, look at your priorities, make sure they still make sense. Because as your life changes, as your family changes, your priorities are going to change as well.
Wow, children are they are really expensive. Maybe we can sell the one we have now.
Well, I feel like in talking to Liz, we're much more comfortable that we can go ahead and plan for another child, that we're doing enough things correctly, and if we modify a little bit, that we will be okay, we'll be able to afford it.